Ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate everybody for this big win that I don't know if to call it a big win or half a win, because the president of Liberia just responded to the ill treatment that he got from the president of the United States, or generally the presidents that were invited to the US Africa Business Summit.
Donald Trump has angered Liberians after he asked the president of the Anglophone country where he learned to speak English so beautifully. Joseph Boakai was one of 5 African leaders hosted at the White House. English is the official language of Liberia, which was founded in 1822 as a colony to resettle freed slaves from America.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Donald Trump just reminded the world that he has the cultural awareness of a potato. At a White House lunch with African leaders today, Trump decided to compliment Liberia's President Joseph Boakai on his beautiful English. Then Trump asked him 3 times where he possibly could have learned such good English. Spoiler alert, English is literally Liberia's official language. The country was founded by free and formerly enslaved Black Americans. It's been independent since 1847, about 170 years before Trump figured out how to read a teleprompter. But Trump couldn't let it go. Where, he pressed, were you educated? And Boakai, I'm probably not saying his name correctly, who once walked 300 miles to get an education, politely humored Trump instead of flipping the damn table on him. This is also the guy who once complained he couldn't understand an Indian reporter speaking English, so naturally Trump asked for a translator. Because after all, why learn about the world when you can just be the loudest guy in the room? A great nation deserves the truth. That's why I'm John Arvosis reporting from Washington.
He just responded, and we thought he didn't notice, but I don't know if they noticed, but I just want to thank everybody on this platform for giving their reaction. You don't know how much the comments you are going to pass in the comment section, you don't know who it's going to touch. I saw some of our videos on big platforms today and I was very, very surprised, So you guys are doing so much. But all in all, I just have to say your reactions as Africans is really, really, really very important. It doesn't matter where you come from, home or in diaspora, like you all are one. When it comes to us, chastising these guys, we're doing it for the betterment of Africa. And the president of Liberia has finally responded, and I feel like, I'm respecting Bashiru, the president of Senegal, to give his own response next, or else maybe I would just have to help myself believe that it's a certified, puppet. But ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to what the president of Liberia just said in regards to the treatment he got from the United States president. Let's watch this video.
Yesterday's exchange with Trump shocked and angered me. I never thought I would be insulted like this in an international setting. I understand his arrogance. He impatiently asked for speed up many times in the meeting, but he pretended to be surprised even though he knew that English is our official language. Discrimination and prejudice against our country is too great. Seems to have tacitly agreed that African countries should not have language skills and that we should not have development. But he was disappointed. We have our own long history and culture. We receive education on our own land and master the official language of English. This is normal, but Trump, as a leader of a country, deliberately repeated praise to me with a racially prejudiced attitude. The sarcastic tone and ignorant sense of superiority made me feel extremely disgusted. This is too arrogant. I believe that if Trump cannot learn to respect every country, he will sooner or later become an international laughingstock.
So in my own opinion, I believe that he might have not felt so good about, the treatment, but personally, I do feel like he might have not had the cojones to respond. But I feel like when some of these guys come across the global reaction to what they just went through, maybe that was what gave him enough cojones and enough marbles to be like, you know what, I'm going to respond to this. So that is why we are out here to, if even if the representative of Africa cannot defend themselves, sometimes this reaction is something, left to him. I believe that he might have sucked it all up. Ladies and gentlemen, personally, I still feel like he has not given the right response. My very self, what I think if these guys want to respond, they should cut their diplomatic tie with the United States. I don't know if the 2.7 billion or whatever amount the US is trying to give them, maybe the 2.5 billion dollars is so big to those people. The president of Mauritania was talking about their maritime program. He was talking about the fish in their waters, and Donald Trump told him to shut up. I think all those presidents should know who they are. They are representing how many million of people? You are representing millions of people out there. It's not just it's not you embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing the whole people you represent. And these people have to do better. So that's why I appreciate everybody that leaves a comment out there showing how furious they are. You know what I mean? They can't do it alone. Sometimes you don't know how powerful our voice is, collectively. I really appreciate the way everybody reacted, and I'm saying it again, I really appreciate how everybody reacted to what happened. And I really really want to say, we have to keep this movement going. And it's really really a great development. This is a good time to be alive. When everybody stand together as a force, starting with Ibrahim Traore to Assimi Goita, and now to this whole, what they call this whole failed US African summit that they talked about. And you know to me, I feel like everything that Donald Trump was talking about on the media, I believe it's just for the media. I believe the main exchange will be the 2.5 billion dollars for the mineral wealth of these countries. But we never can tell what they discuss at the end of the day. The biggest disappointment for me was Bashir, the president of Senegal. Because he was young, I thought that this guy was going to carry a lot of fire in his eyes. But I've been looking at him with my left eye because he was somehow close to the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. And I've always felt like, what is going on? Why is this guy, very close, to the French president? I've been suspecting that, Faye or Bashiru, I've been suspecting that he was a puppet. But, the comment he made about Donald Trump actually confirmed my fears that this guy is a certified puppet. Because what do you mean by saying everywhere Donald Trump goes to, all around the world, he brings peace? Man, the last time I checked, Donald Trump brings chaos to everywhere he enters. What are you talking about? Is it the ICE situation in the United States, or is it the bombing of Iran, or is it a threat to bomb Beijing? I don't understand what this is. Fire living in Africa with everyone. And personally, I now strongly believe even more that the JNI terrorist situation in the AES state is a Western backed terrorism movement. I strongly believe it's a Western backed terrorism movement. Because personally, why is Senegal not getting this whole piece of the national cake that is affecting this three AES state? And then when you look at the behavior of Faye with some of this colonialists, very close to them, very loyal. I personally believe Faye is very, very loyal. Even though he was insulted, even though he was embarrassed by the United States president, but I strongly believe that, Faye is somehow, in this whole thing, even as much as we might try to defend him because he's young. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I have a feeling at the back of I have the strong feeling that this guy is a certified puppet. I don't know what you think about him actually. So we have another news that people have been reacting to, and I want to get your opinion. This whole Assimi Goita situation in Mali, that Assimi Goita can contest, for an unlimited period of time as the president of Mali. And a lot of Western, citizens have been talking too much online about the situation and all of that, and they've been getting a lot of backlash. We don't even need to respond to this type of people. Personally, I don't know how to feel about the situation. I hope Asimi Goita continues to be a good person. Just what I have to, how I want to respond to it. And it's not like he's holding power as a dictator. He just has, the opportunity to continue to compete, as a presidential candidate. It's not like he wants to be there permanently. He has the opportunity to compete as a presidential candidate. And personally, if people are tired of him, they can actually vote him out of government. And yeah, and if he does the opposite, it is easier to hold a very huge campaign against him. um yeah, he's leaving the choice of freedom out there. It's giving people their rights back, but he can compete as a presidential candidate, and I don't see anything wrong in that. If the people of Mali really, even this particular charter, he had 100% vote to compete for an unlimited period of time. And I think Assimi Goita is doing the right thing as a president. We don't want another puppet in power. I know that's what the Western interest is, to install a puppet. Then they can continue to loot and plunder that country. I mean, the AES state is performing extremely well. And the proof is in the pudding. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. The numbers of the AES is just unbelievable to a very large extent. And I think Asimi Goita is doing great. I don't feel any type of way about him contesting and contesting and contesting. It's like talking about Ibrahim Traore in Bucky, because all those presidents, you can't really see a big difference among what they are doing, and they are doing a very, very fantastic job. It's your boy 7200 signing out, say. But before I go,